the streetcar, the subway. Then suddenly your stop gets called and you scramble off, and because you're still maybe half asleep, you forget something really important on the TTC. If that's you, my next guest has the Facebook group for you. Chris Scully has started up a Facebook page this week for items lost and hopefully found on the TTC. Chris, hello to you. Tell me why you made this group. Are you a habitual forgetter?
I used to be. It only takes losing a couple of things before I guess you straighten yourself out. But the reason I started it was because I didn't see anyone else doing it. I guess for some background, I'm a member of a couple of other sort of neighborhood-oriented groups on Facebook, and I've seen lots of things like someone says, "Oh, I found these keys in the park. So we're in Leslieville. Do they belong to you?" And 6 hours later, someone's like, "Oh, they've been returned. It actually worked." And so it was on the group Weird Toronto, which I'm sure some of your listeners have probably heard about. Had mentioned that something had been found on the TTC, and I'm like, I wonder if there is a group for the TTC's lost articles. And I looked everywhere, couldn't find anything. So I'm like, I'm bored, might as well start one up.
Now the TTC has its own lost and found system, but you felt that it maybe needed a little help.
It's pretty much, I guess, it being 2022, I thought maybe more of a social media presence was warranted. There's a lot of sort of younger people. If it's not on Facebook, it just doesn't exist. So
you say it's exploded. Tell me the kinds of items. Just give me some examples of things that people have posted.
Honestly, it's a lot of wallets, and I do not understand this. Like, everyone's got that process you do before you leave the house, right? Wallet, keys, phone. How do you not do that when you get off a subway or whatever? So that would be the most common one. And even expensive items, like there was a Louis Vuitton, which, those aren't cheap. How do you just forget that? But it's mostly been people talking about things that are lost, not a whole lot of found.
Not a finding yet.
The group's very, very new. So
if the wallets are the most commonplace, what's the wildest or weirdest that you've seen so far?
The weirdest, pink snakeskin.
Wow. What?
I didn't even know that existed. Yeah.
No. Have
you ever seen a pink snake?
No. Nope. Tell me about your own. You said that you've gotten better. You're a recovering forgetter. What have you lost on the TTC?
I lost my entire CD collection. So I might be dating myself a little bit with this one, but I used to have one of those portable CD players, and it was back in grade 7 or 8 or something, and I was on a streetcar, and I guess I put it on the ground to maybe check my bag for something, and walked away, and it was nowhere to be found. I checked the lost articles as well, and I'm pretty sure if you're maybe less than a great person and you find 60 pretty cool albums, like we're talking the very first Big Shiny Tunes, things like that, that you're probably not going to return it. So the other thing I like about doing it sort of publicly in a Facebook group is that there's a little bit more accountability. If somebody says, "Oh, I found this," and you're the person who found it and it's online for everyone to see, you might feel a little bit more like you're being called out and decide to try and return it. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting time.
This is such an age-old thing. I have to tell you, we've been asking our listeners for their stories, and we've heard some great ones today of things that have been, musical instruments and, a human skull from an anatomy class at U of T,
Wow.
Things that have been left behind. But listen to this. Gloria wrote in to say, around 40 years ago, I was listening to the radio where they asked the same question. And she remembers a woman calling in to tell the story of she was coming home from work in a crowded TTC bus downtown, standing room only, trying to remove her white gloves. And there was a man of substantial girth pressed close to her. He was shifting his clothing right when she was doing her glove, taking off her gloves. And what happened was her glove got caught in his hands as he was tucking his shirt into his pants. And the glove was gone. She was so mortified she didn't say a word. I think a lot of people have fun visualizing, his reaction when he got home and changed his clothing.
I'm trying to do it right now.
Anyway, my point being, people have been losing things on the TTC for forever, and still the need for this Facebook group is clear. Have you heard anything back from the TTC about this?
I haven't. I actually contacted their media ahead of this interview just to see if they wanted to say anything about it. And to date, I have not heard back from them. So I've invited them if they want to be an admin on the group. They're more than welcome to ask, and I'll throw someone in there. But yeah, so far, no, at this time, nothing from them just yet.
Okay. Well, good on you for creating the group. I hope you reunite a lot of people with their lost goodies. Thanks, Chris.
Me too. No, thank you.
Chris Scully has just made a Facebook group called TTC Lost and Found. We want to hear from you. What is the strangest thing that you have lost on the TTC? And did you get it back? Wild stories of things that you forgot on the TTC. Let's hear them. You can send us an email here and now at cbc.ca or call our talkback line at 416-205-2700.